Hey guys, it's Brandy. And if you guys saw my last video, you see that I am kind of getting back on YouTube. So I figured it's about a little bit of story time. Just to let everybody know why I have been MIA for so long. So I was working at a job at a restaurant last year, and I had only been working there for like literally 3 months, and I was coming out of the kitchen and I tripped over the rug that somebody had folded over. It was buckled and it didn't get fixed. So I tripped over it and I fell face first. And when I did, I put both of my hands out in front of me like this to break my fall. Well, the manager came over and he got me up and everything. They brought me into the office and, I had to fill out an incident report and everything. And my elbow was kind of hurting. It hadn't really gotten swollen yet. I could still move it some. And so they filled out all the necessary paperwork and they sent me to the hospital. So I get to the hospital and I tell them what happened. They take me to x-ray and the doctor comes back and says, you have a radial head fracture. Now, if you don't know too much about anatomy, you have two bones in your arm right here. You have your ulnar bone, and then you have your radial bone. Now, your radial bone is the one that's on the outside of your arm right here. And what had happened was, let me pull my sleeve up and I can show you guys. This is your radial bone right here. Pretty much what happened was I broke it in half right here. And it had become displaced, so it was starting to move down. So they put me in a cast and they referred me to an orthopedic doctor. And my injury happened on a Saturday night. So Monday, I called the orthopedist office, let them know what happened. They had me in the next day. And the doctor looked at my x-rays and he's like, you need to have surgery immediately. I've never had a broken bone in my life, you guys. Never. And according to some people that I've talked to, this is probably one of the worst breaks that you could have. So I was also having problems with feeling in my arm and my hands, which led him to believe that my ulnar nerve had pressure on it, which is a nerve that runs from your shoulder down your elbow into your hand and pretty much gives you feeling in like this side of your hand and your pinky and ring fingers. I could not feel my fingers at all. They were completely numb, pins and needles. So this was Tuesday. He said, we are going to get you into surgery Thursday morning. Great. So they put me in this big brace, which if you go back and watch one of my other videos, you can see the brace that they put me in. It was totally like bionic arm kind of stuff. So Thursday morning I go to have surgery. They did not put me under general anesthesia. They actually just sedated me and did a nerve block. So they stuck a needle into the nerve in my neck that just completely blocked all pain down my arm. Um, so the first thing they did was they opened me up. Now my scar is, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not, because he actually did a really good job, but you can kind of see a little white line right here. That's where he did the initial incision. And when he went in to repair the bone, he wasn't sure if he was going to have to use plates and screws or just screws. And he also said, depending on if the radial head itself was badly fractured, that he might have to remove the whole thing and put in a prosthetic radial head, which I got lucky. That did not happen. He actually didn't even have to use a plate. He was able to repair my bone with just 2 screws. And I will try and put up a photo of my x-rays after my surgery. But he also found that I had 2 torn ligaments, so both of those had to be repaired. And then he moved on to, they call it a cubital tunnel release, which is pretty much relieving the pressure on the ulnar nerve. So that was a whole nother surgery that they had to do. And my scar for that is right here. So pretty much what they did was they went in and relieved the pressure from my nerve to help me get feeling back into my arm. Um, and so, they casted me up, put me back in the brace, and I was completely incapacitated. I am right-handed, so my dominant hand was completely useless. I had to learn how to eat with my left hand. I could not write. I couldn't wash my hair. I had to get somebody to either come to my house and wash my hair, or I had to go to the salon and wash my hair. Bathing was definitely difficult because I could not get anything wet. And just there's a lot of basic things that, you don't realize that you do, that you can't do when you have an injury like this. Of course, I could not drive anywhere, so I had to have people drive me to my doctor's appointments, and things like that. And about a week after surgery, they took my cast off and had a look at the incision. And they said everything looked good. So they pretty much wrapped me up in an ace bandage. And they put my brace back on. And they wanted to get me started with occupational therapy right away. So it was probably mid-January when I started with occupational therapy. At this point, I could not bend my arm. I could not straighten it. I could not touch my shoulder. I couldn't touch my face. My arm was pretty much stuck at a 90-degree angle. And slowly, over the course of the next 3 to 4 months, they were able to adjust my brace to allow me more movement. And there was a lot of motor skill stuff involved and some lightweight lifting. And I can tell you, I remember the first time that I went to wash my face, and I was so used to washing my face with my left hand. And, it's just kind of out of habit. You do this and then you go like this. And the first time I was able to touch my face with my right hand, it was the most exciting thing that I felt like it was the biggest achievement of my life. And I was constantly like stretching my arm, trying to touch my shoulder, because I just wanted my arm back. I'm used to I'm double jointed. I have hyperextension in my arms, my legs, my shoulders. Um Unfortunately, I no longer have hyperextension in my right arm. I can almost straighten it um to a normal angle, but not quite. Um so they had released me from occupational therapy, and my doctor put me into something called work conditioning therapy or work hardening therapy. And if you guys have never heard of that, it pretty much preps you for going back to work. And I don't like the gym. I don't like, doing like all these exercises. I do walk every day. Um, you know, like low impact kind of stuff. And so he sent me to work hardening therapy, and this place was a legit gym. I mean, like, they made me get on the treadmill, they made me get on a bike, they made me do an arm bike, they made me lift weights, they made me do some old school step jazzercise stuff. Um, Depending on how old you guys are, and I know you've seen like old infomercials for stuff like this, but they have this thing called a body blade, and it's pretty much like it's got this thick handle in the middle, and it has like these heavy thinner, flexible ends. And I mean, it's probably like 4 feet long at least. And you sit there and you're supposed to like do this, and it's supposed to like tone your muscles and stuff. Yeah, they made me do that. And so yeah, they made me do a lot of stuff. I was not really happy about it. Um, After the first, I was supposed to go 3 days a week. After the first 2 days, I was literally crying. My body was in so much pain. Um, and I had to quit going because my son was getting out of school and he was going to be staying home with me, and I wasn't able to bring him to work conditioning with me. So then after that, the next time I saw my doctor, he set me up for a an FCE test, which is a function capability evaluation. So it's a 2-day test, and pretty much what they do is they are testing you to see if you meet the requirements of the job that you had, if you're able to return to work. So that was 2 days. I did it on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Each day it was 3 hours. It was totally grueling. And I finished that. So a couple weeks later, I went to see my orthopedic doctor, and he had had the results of my exam. And he actually released me to go back to work on full duty with certain restrictions because my arm could not handle the type of weight, lifting and my grip strength carrying things that it could before I had my injury. So, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I brought the paper over to my job. Everything was sent to Workman's Comp, and it was sent to the corporate office of the restaurant that I worked for. And it was 2 or 3 days later after that, I got a call from Workman's Comp, and they told me that they had spoken to corporate, and unfortunately, they were not willing to take me back. So I was kind of bummed because I was expecting to go back to work in some capacity, even if I couldn't be a server, either doing to-go orders or being a hostess or something. I mean, I have a 10-year-old son. I depend on a livelihood to support myself and my child, and they pretty much told me, screw you, we don't want to take you back. So now I am at the point where I am looking for another job. Um, whether it's just something to get me by for the moment, something seasonal. My son does go to private school, so I do have to worry about his tuition being paid every month. And at this point, I'm pretty much, I think I'm about as healed as I'm going to get. There are certain things that I still have trouble with. Any type of repetitive motion with my elbow, um, things like cutting a steak or a piece of chicken. I can cut a few pieces, but then I have to stop and take a break. I cannot lift a full gallon of milk out of the refrigerator. Um, I always prided myself on being a strong person, being able to move things around by myself. That's something that, I can no longer do. So, more than this injury hurting my body, it's hurt my pride. And it's something that I just kind of have to swallow. Um, And since my injury, I have found out about some other health problems as well that we're still trying to diagnose. I'm going through a bunch of different tests and things like that. So, hopefully we'll find something soon that will help me um, be healthier and be a better person overall and be able to be a better mom. Um, so yeah, that is that's my story time, and that's where I'm at. So even while I was hurt and I was in my cast, being home all the time and getting cabin fever, I ordered quite a bit of makeup, a lot of stuff I have not been able to try yet. So I definitely look forward to swatching some things and trying out some new stuff with you guys. Um, I've gotten like some new e.l.f. palettes and some BH Cosmetics stuff. I still have this stuff in boxes. I haven't even opened it because it's only been like a month since I have been able to actually put on gel or liquid liner without it going all over my eyelid because my arm is shaking so bad. So I do look forward to seeing you guys very soon in the future and making some more story time videos, making some more makeup videos. And that's about it for today, you guys. So it was really great talking to you. If you want to see more of my videos, or if you like any of the videos that I have so far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. And leave me a comment down below if there's anything specific that you want to see, or maybe something that you want me to try, or even if you have any questions. I will be glad to answer them, and see you soon. Have a great day, guys.